There we go.
Very good.
Here, sit down. Yeah, I'll stop. And then you can come and do a library or another day.
Shelly, did you want me to
Yeah,
announce
yeah.
what's going on next week? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, we have Dr. Curry and the raffle, right? Yeah.
Oh,
Should I start there while you're talking? Yep. I'm gonna go back to Mallory when we're done. Hello. Hi, welcome. There you go. Thank you.
oh, you want flyers for what's coming up? Oh, no, you're good. Sounds good.
Are you ready?
You can sit anywhere. You can sit anywhere up there.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the fifth program in our special evening with series, our summer series, where on Thursday evenings we have all kinds of topics that are covered. I will announce we have one more after tonight. It is next week, and we're pretty excited to have the opportunity to have Dr. Don Y. Curry speak at 6:30 next week on When the People Sing, Protest Music and Freedom Struggles in South Africa. Should be quite fascinating. She is a professor from the University of Nebraska, and she's coming home, so she agreed to speak here. I will also mention we have 2 programs left in our teen series. Tomorrow is Unearth Your Creativity with Legos. That should be great fun. And then on the 7th is the summer reading raffle drawing party at 3 o'clock. So I am very pleased to introduce Catherine Long, who is our Teen Center Coordinator and head of our bookstore, and Shelli Robertson, who is our Technology Manager, and they are going to take us through coding, and I really look forward to it, so thank you.
Hi, okay, so welcome. I'm going to do the first part of this, and my part is just gonna be kind of the general overview of the terms and everything, so you get a little familiar, and then Catherine's gonna come in and actually show you some coding in real time. So, this is called Intro to Coding, no experience is required, and we just want to let you know that that's actually the case. Even though when most people hear the word coding, they picture the movies with the black screens, with like the green words scrolling across them really fast, and just one lone person, sitting at a desk fiercely typing everything in, but that's not actually the case. So you can see there on the screen, if you can follow a recipe or build with Lego instructions or give someone directions, then you can do coding, no problem. So we're going to start with what exactly is coding. So coding is just simply writing instructions to tell a computer what to do. It is a step-by-step instructions, because as you can see here, a little breakup is the difference on humans. People need instructions, but the instructions there are just a little bit simpler. You want to tell somebody how to get to a store, you just give them some basic directions. The computers, though, need instructions too. Instead of just saying, open Google, for that you have to give it specific instructions. Open the web browser window, connect to the network address for Google, local search, input graphics, wait for keyboard input. So the instructions for computers are a little bit more intense than they are just for humans. So computers don't have human intuition. So they just need they need a step-by-step instructions. They don't think, they don't feel, they don't rationalize. They need very clear step-by-step instructions on what to do. And that's what coding is called. So we have a simple analogy here that coding is just like following a recipe. On the left side of the screen, there's a standard recipe for chocolate chip cookies. And as you can see, it preheat the oven to 350 degrees, mix the ingredients, scoop the dough, bake for 12 minutes, and then enjoy the cookies. Now, on the right side of the screen, it's actual code written in JavaScript. So the instructions are similar with just a little bit of the icons that are used in coding for computers. So if you look at it, if you miss one step there, the cookies don't turn out right. If you reverse steps 1 and 4, you would be trying to break the raw ingredients before mixing them. Or if you try to put the dough in an oven that hasn't been preheated, then the cookies are ruined. So just like instructions that you give person to person, it's very important that you give the directions in coding in the correct order. And you also have to make sure that you start the certain direction and then close an instruction before each instruction is given. You have to make sure it starts it and then closes it, which is what the symbols there are. Again, and Catherine's going to get into that a little bit more as she shows you how to do it. One of the questions that people have is, what is the difference between coding and programming? You might hear the two terms used interchangeably, but they're not the same thing. Just a little bit to explain it, you can see on the screen just an analogy about it, but just to explain it kind of simply, just imagine that you're building a house. Coding is laying the bricks. It's the hands-on translation of ideas into specific lines of text using languages, coding languages like Python or JavaScript, which I'm going to get into in just a second. It focuses on getting the rules, punctuation, and grammar correct so the machine understands. Programming is like being the architect and the contractor of the house combined. It's understanding the bigger picture. What problem are we trying to solve? How should the user interact with it? How do we test it to make sure it doesn't crash? So coding is how you write the instructions, and programming is what you solve by writing the coding for the instructions. So just a simple kind of thought for that is, when you learn to code, you start by laying single bricks, line by line for coding, and then over time you build the whole house, which is the process of computer programming. So here's just a little bit of an example of where do we see coding every day. So, a lot of people think, oh, I don't know anything about code, but you deal with it every single day of your life. So if you take a look here at these images, these are examples of everywhere that coding is used, that you use every day. Your smartphone, GPS, if you go online shopping, your music apps, anything, traffic lights, the computerized traffic lights are run with coding. Your smart TVs now, all of that, as you know, is run with coding. So that's just a little bit, it's everywhere so you do actually deal with it every single day. So the question, why does coding matter? Because it powers nearly everything around us. The world runs on software, and software runs on code. Learning about coding changes your relationship with technology. Instead of just viewing your phone or computer as a magic black box that you simply consume, you start to understand how it works. It matters in medical technology, where code helps, like MRI machines, scan for diseases. Self-driving cars use code to tell them when to start, when to stop, turn signals, everything like that. And communication, it's used in your mobile apps and the websites, anywhere like that. So, just another little graphic that you do use coding every single day. Then we have here, computers don't think like humans. So, a quote here is, to work effectively with computers, we have to understand their biggest limitation. That's one of the most important lessons in computer science. Computers are incredibly fast, but they are completely literal and lack any thought process or common sense of their own. So here's an example here. If you say to a human, can you grab me a drink? The human brain instantly fills in the dozens of unstated steps. They know where the refrigerator or the water fountain is. They know that you need a cup to pour the drink into. They know how to pour water into the cup, not to just pour it onto the floor, and then they know to hand it to the person that asked them to do it. So you ask someone, can you grab me a drink? They're just gonna go get you a drink and hand it to you. If you were to ask the computer, you would have to give them every micro step with good coding. Stand up, walk to the kitchen, reach for the refrigerator, pull the door open, locate the drink bottle, grasp the bottle, close the refrigerator door, and walk back and hand the drink to the person. That's what coding is. Every single line literally spelled out for them. Coding is different. Coding is its own language, and there are several coding languages. I'm not going to go too in depth with them because they can be confusing. I'm just going to give you a little bit of an overview of each one and how basically that they're used in the real world that you use them now. So a way to think of how to use coding is think of the coding languages like tools in a mechanic's toolbox, where you wouldn't use a hammer to turn a screw, you wouldn't use a saw to paint a wall. So different jobs require different tools. So different coding languages run different machines. So the most popular and the one that most people learn when they learn coding, they start with is Python. That's just the kind of general, easy starting with coding. JavaScript is the next one. JavaScript does websites, interactive web apps, and that's what you see on the front end of your website and servers. Java is for enterprise business software and Android applications. C# is used mainly in video games and Microsoft Windows software. Swift was designed specifically for Apple, for iPhones, iPads, and Mac applications. And then C++ is used in robotics, high-performance systems, and game engines like Fortnite, the really, really intense, like immersive games like that. And then you have HTML and CSS, which are a big part of the structure and visual design of web pages. So I'm just going to give a little bit of overview. So Python is widely considered the best starting language. That code reads almost exactly like English sentences. So it's the primary engine behind modern AI intelligence like ChatGPT, and it's used in Spotify and Netflix, and it's used in data models by NASA and meteorologists. Okay. But Python is written quite a bit just like English language. JavaScript is the next one. That's what makes the web interactive. So think of it this way. Standard web page is like a printed newspaper page. You just got a standard web page, it's just print there on the screen. JavaScript brings it to life. That's when you click add to cart on a website and your basket or your cart counter updates instantly, or you tap like on Instagram, the little heart pops up that it's interactive, that you liked it, without reloading the page. JavaScript is doing that work inside your website. So your website that you write comes up looking just like a page, and then the JavaScript is what makes it interactive for everybody. The next is Swift. That was engineered by Apple to make the apps for iPhones, iPads, and Apple Watches. It lets developers talk to the phone hardware like swiping on the screen, using the camera, or triggering the vibration feedback. So if you use any Apple product, you interact with Swift every single day. So Apple built Swift specifically to make their apps run ultra smooth and be ultra responsive. Popular apps like Duolingo and Apple Maps and the mobile banking apps on there also use Swift because it talks directly with the device's hardware, leveraging your camera, GPS, and the touch gestures seamlessly. Java is what they call the quiet giant of the tech world. Its golden rule is write once, run anywhere, meaning it runs on practically any device with minimal tweaking. It powers Android apps like Spotify, Cash App, and Amazon Shopping. So Java really runs behind the scenes where thousands of bank transactions processed per second, or when you book a flight. Java's running the mission critical systems that keep the banks, the airlines, and hospitals running safely every day. Okay. Then we have C# and C++. They are the coding that are built for speed and precision. They're used in 3D games like Fortnite or in self-driving cars, medical robotics, and every microsecond counts. That's when they're used. They allow developers to write hyper-fast code when delay is not an option in running the machine. In a fast-paced 3D video game running at 120 frames per second, or a self-driving car adjusting the motor torque, a few milliseconds of lag isn't just annoying, it can ruin the game or cause physical danger. So C++ provides raw speed for high-end graphic engines like Unreal Engine, think the game Fortnite with the 3D very interactive, high-frequency trading platforms, and self-driving vehicles like Tesla, and C# powers games built on the Unity engine like Pokemon Go and Hollow Knight, as well as enterprise Windows applications. And then finally, we have HTML and CSS. They are what's called the building blocks of the entire web. They always work as a team. They're the blueprint and the paintbrush of the internet. HTML creates the structure, telling the computer, here is a heading, here is a photo, here is a button. CSS provides the styles, the fonts, the background colors, and the margins so the page looks correct and beautiful on both a large desktop monitor and a smartphone screen. So you'll see that a lot, and if you're working in, if you're a social media poster, if you post on social media, or if you do web design, you'll see that you have to go back and check to see how it looks on the desktop versus how it looks on a mobile app, and it has to be able to transition seamlessly, because if it doesn't, it gets all skewed on the mobile app if it's just mainly set for the desktop. And you'll see that in social media, where Instagram and Facebook, they will tell you that you need to edit your graphics so that they fit correctly onto both platforms. And then here I've just got a little bit, can anyone learn to code? And the answer to that is yes, absolutely you can. You don't need to be great at high-level math, or a computer genius, or super tech savvy. You just have to have curiosity, eagerness to explore. You need to have patience when making mistakes. You need to have patience when you're working in code, because you're working with a large block of code, and if you get interrupted or something and you come back, it all looks the same. So you've got to have the patience to make sure, you know, just the patience is a big deal, just to make sure that you can keep track of where you are in the coding. And then you just have to practice it. Just practice it bit by bit, and then it's going to come seamlessly what each of the icons means, how you open a code, close a code, how you maneuver the graphics or the fonts to be in the right place on the web page. So it just takes practice, and as you do it, it gets quicker and quicker for you. You just kind of memorize and know which icon to use to make that happen. And so coding is problem solving, and some examples are just, how can I make this easier is what code answers. How can I make sending a letter easier and faster? Use the email. How can I make finding directions simpler? Use GPS. How can I make borrowing a library book more accessible? Use the online library catalog. So every video game, every website, every app, every AI tool that you see started with someone sitting down and writing their very first line of code. So that's what you just need to do if you're interested in it. You just need to sit down and practice it, which Catherine is going to show you in real time how to do. That's just the most important thing, is just have patience and sit down and practice it, and want to have the curiosity to learn it. So yeah, switch over to you.
Perfect, thank you, Shelli. Okay, so we are going to have a little bit of time, and we're going to actually code a website using the language HTML, which Shelli explained to us is really what creates most websites and web pages. But to do that, we need a couple vocab definitions to keep us all on the same page, which is on the second page of your handout. So I'm going to be using some of those words, and you can refer back to that as you go along. First one is syntax. Syntax is the grammar of the coding language. So when people are intimidated by code, They're usually scared of the word syntax. Syntax is simply grammar for computers. In English, we use capital letters and periods to get our message across. In code, we use brackets or curly brackets so that the computer knows when the instruction starts and when the instruction ends. A secret every professional developer knows is that you do not need to memorize code. Professional software engineers use Google all the time. They look at cheat sheets every single day. Coding is about problem solving and logic, not memorization. So the blueprint. Now that we know how computers think, let's look at the blueprint. How do we build a website from scratch? We're going to look at the two most fundamental building blocks of the web, HTML and CSS. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. You don't need to memorize that. Don't worry about the long name. Just think of HTML like the skeleton or the structure of a house. It defines where the walls, the doors, the windows go. HTML uses tags that act like a sandwich. You have an opening tag. We're looking at the bottom left black box there. The opening tag is that H1, is that greater than sign, H1, and then the closing greater than sign, less than sign, greater than sign. So those are tags. Your text inside, in this case, welcome to my library, and the closing tag, the H1 on the right side with the slash. Tags tell the browser, hey, display this specific piece of text as a big headline or a paragraph or a button. If HTML is like the wooden frame of a house, CSS, which stands for Cascading Style Sheets, is the interior design. It determines the paint colors, the font sizes, spacing, and alignment of your text. With HTML alone, the website just kind of looks like a blank black and white Word document. It's not that fun. CSS is what brings it to life with color and design. Okay, so we are going to begin to code, which I'm going to change over to the keyboard. But really what we're going to start with is we're going to open up a text file. We're going to open up a blank browser tab. And then between those two things, we are going to be good to go. A little bit about making your own website. You have a couple different options. If you wanted to create a website, say, and for my example, I crochet stuffed animals, and I want a website to post pictures of all my little crocheted stuffed animals so that everyone can go and look and see what I've made. I am going to code a website design with pictures and colors, and I am going to try to share it out as much as I can. After I've coded it, where do I host it? Well, that's when you'll have to pay a hosting company to host your website on the internet, and that way a lot of people can go and look at it. But for right now, we're going to create a website that's just for us, and we're going to host it on this computer. So it's private right now. To make it public, that's the next step. All right, let's do it. I'm going to try to speak loudly, but if you can't hear me, just yell. Okay. So you can begin to code with any computer. You don't need a special website to do it. We're going to start here. We're going to open up a text file, which on this Windows computer is called Notepad. On Macs, it's called something else. But it's usually Notepad or Notes. Yeah, you don't need to download an app. It's always already downloaded on your computer with whatever Windows or Mac you have. So we're going to open up this. It's really plain, and this is where we're going to start writing our code. So we're going to recreate those black boxes that I had on those website on the PowerPoint. We're going to do a less than sign,
And H1 stands for header 1. There's header 1 through 6, 1 is the biggest. So my idea is that I want the biggest words on my website to be my first website. And then to tell the computer, that's it. I'm done with this line, go to the next one. I have to type this. Let me see if I can make this bigger. How's that? Is that better for you?
Great.
Yeah, good. My first website. Okay. Now we're going to go to the next line, and we're going to write a paragraph. So we're going to go, that's a less than sign. I really don't use math in my daily life. All right, so we're going to do paragraph. All right, computer, I want to write, this is a short paragraph welcome message on my new website. All right, and I've ended my paragraph. Now, let's say I want to have a website and I'm going to put all my pictures on it and I want a button. And when someone clicks that button, I want them to go to the Lancaster Community Library. So we're going to create a button. We go less than sign. You can kind of see there's a pattern happening here. A button, and I want it to say, click here. And then I shall close the button. All right. Now, right now I've just made the button, but I haven't made it go anywhere. So we need to have a URL or a hyperlink to make the button go to a secondary location. So to link it to another website, this means a reference point. So I'm telling the computer, when someone clicks that button, go to this reference point, which I have on my little cheat sheet, the Lancaster Library website. So let's see, https lancasterlibrary.org. All right. And and now I have to close that A over there, which I will do like this. There we go. All right, but I can't just have my website be, you know, I gotta have it something about me. I've got to make it mine. So I'm going to do another paragraph that says, here's a paragraph about me. All right, we're going to scroll down. Well, no, I have to go with this. Okay. So I want there to be a list, and I'm going to write down, this is how you say UL means list, universal list. And I'm going to say, I want a list of my favorite books that you can find at Lancaster Community Library in our circulation. So here we go. LI is for list. My favorite book is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. And I'm telling the computer, all right, that's it for that line. Go to the next one. Something else about me. Let's see. I have two cats. That's Ailey is one of them. E-I-L-I-H and Fitz. Now, if you were making your own website, you'd write, you know, anything about yourself, or I have crocheted items for sale. Click here to buy them on Etsy, something like that. So I have two two cats. All right, and now I'm finished with that list. Part of coding is that you start an instruction and you have to show them where it ends. It's almost like putting a period at the end of the sentence. If you don't have the closing bracket or the closing tag, it's like a run-on sentence. The code will just keep going and going and it'll break, and that's what we call a bug. So a bug in code is I'm missing that end of instruction. So that could be a bracket, that could be a greater than or less than sign, or it could be this slash. All right, good. So right now I'm missing the partner to this UL. So I'm going to type /UL. Okay, so we have some good basic code, but right now it looks like nothing. So we need to make it into a website. So what we do is we have to save the file as an HTML file.
Catherine,
Yes.
do you need to put a bracket at the end of the header at the top? Under by my first website, H1.
I do. You caught my bug. Very good. Thank you. Now I'm going to look at all of
And
them.
the slash P,
Yeah,
slash P needs to.
Right there. There we go. Thank you. Anybody else see something? I was just checking. I was just testing you guys. Thank you, Stark. Good job. You get a donut. Well, you know what? Let's try it. We're gonna save as, and we have to save as in all files, and we're gonna name it my first website .html. All right, we're gonna save it. Now we go to our documents here, and we click my first website. Here we go. This is what it looks like.
Nice.
It's okay. It's not the best. Let's see where this hyperlink takes us. Oh, took us to Lancaster Community Library. That's where all roads end, obviously. So this is a really good basic website. It took us, I don't know how long that took us. What time was it? Okay. Well, right, it does say it's 4 p.m. The computer's wrong. That took us a little bit. But I have already gone and written some code to a more detailed website with some CSS so that we can look what it looks like when you style your code. All right. All right, so I went ahead this morning and wrote this code. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. This is the HTML document. The language is in English, right? A header. These right here are the CSS. So this is the interior design. Okay? So I put style. Now all of this, I did not memorize. I did not come up with. CSS, and most programmers do this. CSS, you can go online and say, give me basic CSS code to make my website look, make it blue, I want it to be good colors, you can make it anything. And online or in textbooks that we have downstairs, they have this code. So no one would expect you to create this on your own. A lot about coding and programming is being able to use the tools at your disposal. So being able to know enough to look up what you need. All right, so I wanted the font family to be Segoy, UI, Tahoma, all of those are fonts. The line height is 1.6. The color, I think that's going to be blue. Not really sure about that. I wrote this a couple hours ago. Anyway, so I have written all of this. All right, so we're going to save it. We're going to download it. Put it in our downloads. We're going to save it as library.html. Yes, I want to replace it. All right, we're going to open it up, and this is what it looks like. So we have a header, Lancaster Community Library, Discover, Learn, and Connect. All right, so if you were to make a website, in a couple hours you could have something like this. Knowing what you know now, knowing that you need certain tools, languages,
to write certain code, HTML, and you need the grammar, that is the tags, uh, the actual line by line that we wrote. But once you have all those tools, you can create something like this. All right. There we go. Are there any questions before we go? Any questions about this code or the code that we wrote together? Any questions about the vocab on your? So, building on this, there are many different careers that you could go. You could be a coder that does strict code for businesses or personal websites. You could be a programmer, which, as Shelli told us, is more of the bigger picture. So you're more of the manager of the little coders that work at your disposal. There are user interface managers that their only job is to how people utilize what has been coded, the websites that have been coded. So there are so many different careers you can take with just these basic understanding the tools that you need. I went to Virginia Tech, and my undergraduate degree is in business IT. So I learned this in connection of how do businesses use software to make their businesses work. So, for example, I learned how our software for the library keeps the collection database in check, how we check books in and out. We use a program, Biblionics, and that runs on JavaScript. I'm sure they have a little bit, you can use different like coding languages to make it all interact, so nothing is purely one thing, it's all kind of a mix, just like a recipe, you kind of use a different mix for things that you want in your code as your ultimate goal. All right, that's all I have. Any questions?
Not until we start.
Not till we start. Well, you know where to find me. I'm just downstairs if you ever have any questions. Hi, Melly. Yes.
It's not really a question, but am I the only one who thought there'd be a lot more numbers?
Yes. No, that's true. Thinking that there should be a lot more numbers or a lot more math is a common misconception. But learning to code is almost like learning a new language. You just need to learn how it works and the grammar and how to put sentences together. But there's really no math involved. Yeah. Which for me makes it that I can do it a lot better because I'm a reader, not a mathematician. So. All right. Thank you so much.
Catherine, when I was in library school, a long time ago, I had a graduate assistantship, and they had a summer program for health-related librarians, and I had to do a website, and it was HTML, but I'm so glad to know, and there was no Google at that time, really. So I'm so glad to know all that coding's out there in the world now because I had to have all these cheat sheets to try to remember, headers and paragraphs and all that. So that's great. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's lots of cheat sheets now, and every coder uses Google to say what are the cheat sheets for HTML, what are the cheat sheets for CSS, and just being able to use those tools to create your website, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So there are some practical applications. If you ever have a problem with your phone, just like Shelli said, you don't have to think of your phone as this black box of mystery. Now you can know there's a problem with my Gmail account, and that it's probably because one thing is not talking to the other thing correctly. One computer brain is not understanding what the other computer brain is trying to do. So there has to be a fix that is make this instruction more simple or more straightforward so that the computers can understand it. Yes?
I would just say, just add in there, because a lot of people use Wix or WordPress or anything, and they come preloaded. They have a very user-friendly menu for you. The menu looks just like, Microsoft Word or Google Docs, but sometimes, and I run into that with our website lately, the menu in the user interface will glitch and you don't see it or you don't see all of it. So it is good to know coding, because then you can click into the coding option and this is what you come into. So you can still make your adjustments and make your changes even if the menu portion from the like WordPress or somewhere is not working correctly. You can go in manually and make a change. Like Catherine said, you don't have to memorize it, because you can even just look back through the code up and just copy and paste. Even if you want something to be another graphic to be centered under another one, you can just copy and paste the part of the code and then put the information for your graphic or your text in there. So this is good to know too, even though they make it simple to design your own, to know the code in case there is a problem with the user interface. You can go in and still make your changes. Yeah.
Coding is very hands-on. Does anyone want to volunteer to, we'll take all of this off. Does anyone want to volunteer to type this again so you can kind of feel what it's like to code? Start.
Sure, I'll do it.
Come on, start.
We were wondering what the A means in a line. You start a line with
Right
the,
for the reference one.
yeah.
Yeah, you know what? As a programmer, I'm going to Google that and I'll give you the answer.
Another
It's
demonstration.
like there's paragraph and there's
You can
header.
borrow my, cheat sheet.
Oh, I wasn't even on it.
Oh, you have yours. Look at you.
I didn't copy messages though.
Yeah.
Let's see if it'll work. So, it doesn't matter if I overwrite this, right? It's just a text
Oh.
editor.
Yeah, I just deleted it, so go ahead.
All right.
And I guess if you code enough, you start to like naturally memorize some things, right? And then notice patterns.
Exactly.
Would there need to be a space after the graphic before the text?
No.
Okay. I am just the first line.
The A stands for anchor.
It is used to create the hyperlinks to connect one page file to another.
Okay, that makes sense.
A means anchor.
Are you sure you shouldn't pick him?
Pick up his
Pick up
name.
his name.
Hey, I have a script I'm following.
He's got a whole thing. He was
awesome.
prepared. I love that.
Well, yeah, I was gonna go downstairs and practice, so. It's a little more on the spot than I'd like, but can't really complain.
If we get too more into it, we're gonna drown.
Well, it's okay. We're gonna learn about start 6 of his name. So we're gonna learn all about him.
Did he start Jack the Sixth?
I don't think he actually.
That's
Cool. You know, he did. That's what they do on Game of Thrones. Aegon.
The Mad King.
Yeah.
The Mad King.
But all things end at the library, so I'm.
Oh, yeah.
There you
All
go.
roads.
All roads.
All roads. The library.
And then you put space between some lines. Is that to like?
It doesn't matter.
That's just my personal, I like lines.
That's a good question, because I was actually gonna ask, but I thought you did need that space.
Yes. A lot of coders have, it's almost like an artist touch. They have different just preferences, but the space between the lines does not matter.
And that makes sense, because you're saying like the brackets are what close it, so of course
That's
it would
right.
matter.
Some of us that have vision issues like the space.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I personally like
Yes.
the space. It helps my brain.
Yeah, it makes it a little easier too if you get disrupted and have to come back in. It's a little easier to find where you were.
My keyboard now is really laggy.
So it doesn't matter where the CSS part goes?
No, you just put it in the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah, so because the computer reads it top to bottom,
Uh-huh.
if you want the text to be designed by CSS, you put CSS up at the top, and as the computer reads it, it reads, okay, every paragraph is going to be sepia font, size 14, and then as
Uh-huh.
it goes down, it finds that and makes it that, so
Okay.
you put CSS up at the top.
I think like the most important thing to remember really is to open and close your segments. That's really where a lot of the problem comes in if the front end's not looking right.
Yeah.
Cats are awesome.
Cats too.
That was for you, Shelly.
Thank you. Mallory seems to think I like books with the dog here.
All right, last bit here. Let's see if I did it right.
Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're going to save it. So file, save, not save as, just save.
I just saved.
Yes.
I guess
Now-
it's already as an HTML.
Go back to the Google here, go up to the tab where I opened it, that one. Now click refresh.
Aha!
Oh, wow.
Great demonstration.
Do you see any mistakes that you?
I don't, you make mistakes.
Try to click here.
That's what I was gonna do.
See if you got it.
Okay, so the hyperlink, you actually put the hyperlink as about me,
Okay,
not
really?
in the button. But here we go, go back to the code right here.
Yeah.
All right, so what you're going to do, you're gonna take this,
Oh,
select
I
it,
see why I did that too.
yeah, and put it underneath. That tells the computer, hey, start there, and I want the button to end down there. Or, yeah,
Oh.
where did you want the button to go?
I thought, so the button should have been at the end of library.
Click
hours.
here.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so put that back. You're gonna take the top over there, the AHREF, the front of the tag. Just the A, I think. Let's see, in my cheat sheet. Did you make a button? Okay, so put it inside. You need this whole thing to be inside the button.
Gotcha.
Oh.
So.
So this whole line, put it,
include
yes, put it inside the button right there.
Ah, perfect.
I think that's right, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, maybe. I
Yeah.
have to find out.
Button, hyperlink, hyperlink. Click here. All right, so save it and refresh.
And A is anchor?
That's right, A is anchor.
All right, let's, oh, well, I guess that worked.
Click. Yeah. Now refresh it. I now click here.
Huh. It's, well, it's, yeah, but it's still on the text below,
It is.
and the click here does nothing.
Did you save this?
I did not save it just now.
Yeah.
That's probably why.
There you go. Now go back. Now refresh. Ah. All right, go back to text.
Terrible demonstration from me, sorry.
No, no.
I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Button, click here.
That's basically it. Well, I think it's because that's inside, I want to say it's this part right here is what the issue is. It feels like there's too many brackets over here.
Okay.
But I could be wrong.
No, it's all about experimenting. You take a guess. Or you know what? We live in the world of
Oh, that's
AI.
or using the tools to give us.
Incorrect message equals like but.
Yeah.
So it should
Ahref equals.
put the but underneath the like. So do the solution as
Okay, so and so this part is
yes.
and the exclamation point.
Yeah, 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 you put button after.
Alright, so that's just dropped
So they got that.
Oh, of course I got rid of my space there.
And then get rid of the greater than sign behind button.
I think I just need to draw space actually. Yeah.
Or delete it all and type that again.
Delete it all, I guess that is.
Not all, but just
Yeah,
those
no, I
two
did
lines.
this line. I'll look at it.
2 lines.
The Ahref is good, HTTPS org is good.
Yeah.
Then it comes to
You got it.
the plus and the space.
Yeah, here.
Get the down spot.
You're actually staying.
Let's see. I'm not sure. I think it's the A part.
The A part.
And then, which is what that's already doing, right?
Okay, so get rid of that.
Oh, I see what it is.
Whoa, it's a touchscreen.
That's good enough. There. This display.
Hey.
Then it needs to, it needs still, I guess on a separate line, to enter or back away.
No, you can go at the end.
And was,
Less than
would I need a
sign
space
slash
between
A.
the brackets
No,
there?
no space.
All right, let's see if this works.
Okay, save. And just,
Yeah, I got it.
save it. Yeah, go back. Uh-huh.
Refresh. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's why we're-
Clean
that's
up
good.
the-
That's good.
Awesome.
Dun, dun, dun.
Love that tiny website. I'll have to add some more text. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So what I did to Google, to Google it, I took a picture of it and I said, Google, what's wrong with this code?
That's what I thought.
And Google told me what was wrong with the code. And that just shows, you just need to know how to find the answer. You don't have to know the answer.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, one more thing. If you want to go home and practice, Scratch, what is that called? Scratch? Let me just see.
Scratch coding, yeah.
So it's scratch.mit.edu. This is a great place to start to practice. You can create a free account and then you can start creating. And it shows you different projects that people have made and very simple things, simple games, but it's a good place to create an account and start practicing your code, getting more comfortable, and then, unlike me, you can recognize what's wrong with it.
It breaks things out for you too.
Yeah.
Yes, it's really the place to start.
Scratch.mit.edu. Oh, right here, you type in this, just type it into a browser. Scratch.mit. Yeah.
Well, I actually do have experience with like this, and it is text box.
I did, yeah.
But I've had enough experience that's tangentially like, okay, I can understand this.
Yeah.
Guess we're
You
done.
pointed out how.
Turn it off.
Like how very valid. Oh, yeah.
I would love to, and I know it's a lot more.
Actually, let's still do a thank you. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Shelli. Great job.
Yeah, I gotta go back and actually go back.
Yeah.
Alice, thank you.